becoming more and more obvious. Now, before the war, it was just pretty much just here I am. I'm a Russian person. I'm just like you, which is true. Russian people are just like us for the most part, except they don't get news like we get. They don't have a free press. So, you know, they are just like us. People are people. People are born the same way. But they don't have a free press. They don't live in a democracy. They're sort of forced into doing stuff. And one of the things that, you're living in a totalitarian state. Disinformation is going to be a huge part of it. And that's what we're dealing with when we're talking about the Russian propaganda channels. And which ones are Russian propaganda channels? At this point, seriously, at this point, I haven't seen any lately that I don't think are not. They all seem like they're about propaganda. 1420 that puts out stuff like daily. And it's really become abundantly clear that all of the channels, one thing that you can look for is if the channel ever has said, advertised a VPN, this is a VPN that I use, blah, blah, blah. If they're talking about using a VPN, how are they talking about using a VPN? They live in a country run by a dictator that has said you can't use a VPN, okay? That's one of the reasons why people are, I'm not saying that they could get one, but if they're announcing it on their YouTube channel, really? They want to get arrested? Do you see the problem? You see the problem? So if you run across any channel, how many of our channels do they sit there and like in the last 3 weeks talk about using a VPN? Probably none. Nobody really announces it. But for the Russian propaganda channels, it's really important because it puts it in this different realm where people could say, they're not, nobody's like restricting them. They can watch whatever they want. See what I'm saying? So, like everything that I've seen lately, all the channels have at least announced once or twice, or even on Instagram, they have a VPN. And they can't be announcing that if they're regular, just everyday Russian Joes, and they're not. They're not. Now, you look at 1420, this is a channel that, like, man, it's just become abundantly clear, and all of them are sort of, look, we're getting picked on. We're being picked on. It's not fair. I'm watching something recently by 1420. I just watched it for a few seconds. That's all I had to watch. The guy's talking about, if you notice the way in movies, the Russians are always the bad guy and called Ivan, and, like this. They just keep repeating the same thing, that the sanctions are unfair. They're not really unfair, and they should probably be ratcheted up, and that's probably what's going to happen. The Russian, you can't invade a country, try and steal everything and kill their people and expect nothing to happen. And if you live in a country where the press, you don't have free press, you're being told what to hear, and you have like channels on YouTube that really can't be removed, but they made it so that the Russian channels, none of them can are monetized at this point. So, but they're not really doing anything against YouTube community guidelines to be removed. If they were saying, some stuff, they could be removed. But they're not really. They're just kind of, they want to shape what the viewer thinks. They want to influence what the viewer thinks. And with propaganda, you want to influence the viewer to your side so that you think about it how they want you to think about it. And like I've said this before, the average IQ is 100. This is a sucker born every day. But with that said, it's not just smart people can be influenced this way and start, they get brainwashed. You hear it over and over again. You hear what you want to hear. That's exactly it. So I don't know if I was Google, I'd just remove them all. But I'm not Google, I'm not YouTube, and they're not really. It's you could even say something repugnant. Okay, you can be rude. That's not a reason to get removed. Get a community guideline strike. Like you could call somebody stupid, okay, idiot, something like that. Manners has nothing to do with it. Okay, doesn't have anything to do with it. You couldn't say anything derogatory about, say, a group of people, the way somebody, I don't know. Could you say something? People say stuff about the way I look all the time. But do you know what I'm saying? Like you can't, like if they have a disability, you can't do stuff like that. So are they really doing anything like that? No, they're not. They're just trying to make it appear to Western people that watch the channels that they're really being treated unfair. With that said, I was watching the news today, and they were saying that they really wonder, like, what is the information that Putin gets at this point? Because, like a president that we had recently, the people around him are probably afraid to say certain things. There was somebody in his ministry that, Ministry of Defense, I think, that is under house arrest right now, and maybe the person below them. But when you work for a dictator, you can't just say whatever you want. So when like in our country, there were people that were surrounding this guy that would just tell him what he wanted to hear, and that's the way that I was this morning when I was listening to somebody talk about it. They're like, you really have to wonder, like, what is he really hearing? There's been people with him for 2 centuries. Um, you know, just it's like an exaggerated um, when you're dealing with somebody like that, everything has to be exaggerated. It does. So that would be exaggerated up or exaggerated down. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to tell him the things that he wants to hear, and you're not going to tell him the things he doesn't want to hear. So you're going to exaggerate everything, the time frames, the casualties on both sides. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you can't put it in the realm of like facts. Nothing's factual, and everything's exaggerated to the point of being ridiculous. Because you don't want to lose your life, right? You work for, you know, a terrible person. You work for a dictator. So if you have something, say you have, like, for the last 20 years you've been working with somebody and you have a friendship sort of built up, and then he goes to war, and then it makes that friendship sort of like how you deal with a person totally different. So say he has, like, the person like that he relies upon the most, and there's a distance created, say even by the pandemic. It was clear that Putin is totally afraid of getting it because he's like, they're at the end of the table, he's down here, it's 30 feet away, there's a physical distance. Distance starts being created because they're not interacting and they're not close, and then there's this distance that's created. So it's not good. They can't say whatever they want. Everything has to be exaggerated. Time frames, this is gonna take 2 days to get the Ukrainians out, and to be perfectly honest, it could take half a century. They don't want to leave. That's just how it is. You might not ever there might always be a resistance there. You might be able to get them out of there, but there's always going to be somebody that's like, I don't want to put up with it. They're never going to leave. They're never going to quit. They're never going to quit the Ukraine, and they shouldn't. They've been killed. They've been run out of their own country. Why would they quit at this point? Why would they give them Crimea? Why would they give him that other part in the Donbass or whatever it is, the northern part? Why would they give him any of that? They should get him totally out of the country. I understand the position that Zelensky is in. You know, it's going to be going on 60 days soon. He's had thousands of people die. Maybe Putin doesn't even know how many people have died on his side. If maybe he gave him Crimea and said, get the hell out. But we don't ever want to deal with you again, and NATO's coming in here, and that's it. Maybe he does do that. I don't know. But these Russian propaganda channels on, YouTube, it's like it's a what's hanging off of me? Lint. It's sort of insidious, and it's not really going away. It's not going to go away. It can't. It's a shame. It's a shame, but that's what it seems to be. Like every Russian channel seems to be about propaganda. Woe is me. We're being treated so unfairly. If you're watching those Russian YouTube channels, look at them with an open eye and start, thinking, does this really add up? Does the channel talk about a VPN? Does it? If it does, that's not even legal to have. They would have to be working for the government. That's disinformation, saying, oh yes, I have a VPN, I use it, I'm on YouTube. Because you would know that if they were announcing that on YouTube, somebody's coming to their house and going to lock them up. They made a law where if you say the word war, if you refer to the thing in Ukraine as a war, you're getting locked up for 15 years. 15 years. That's outrageous. It's outrageous. So I'm just saying, I got to go work with the dogs in a minute. Look at everything with an open eye, okay? And don't believe everything that you hear and see on the internet. Should question everything if it's coming out of Russia. First of all, it's like disinformation. By the way, let me talk about this. We have Putin, right, in Russia. And then we had, this is going to hurt some people, but we had a president that really loves Putin. We're in the middle of a bloody war caused by Russia. We had a president, President Trump, that withheld stuff that was already allocated to the Ukraine from Zelensky and said to Zelensky, I give you what he already should have had, right? If you give me information on my opponent. Well, it got leaked out to Congress and to the news, and he had to give Zelensky what was his, okay? But that's extortion. That was a president trying to extort another president from another country. That stuff was already allocated, okay? That was horrible. I could go down a whole list of things that Trump did that was horrible. But during a bloody battle, just the other day, Trump gets on stage, it starts doing the old Russia, if you're listening. Do you remember when he did that one? Why don't you release the 30,000 emails, right? Do you remember that one? He did something very similar during this. This guy's horrible. He says to Putin, he says, on TV just the other day, I'd like to know why Joe Biden's son was given $500,000 by the mayor of Moscow's wife. I'd just like to know that. This has already been proven as just more disinformation from Trump. It never happened. But it doesn't matter. Do you know why? It's because it's similar to Putin. You put that out there, somebody hears that and says, "Oh, really? He, Joe Biden's son got a $500,000 or $1 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife?" Like, it's out there. Somebody already heard it. You can say it's not true, but it's too late because the mind already registers it. So even if you tell them, you have to, and it's still there. That is screwed up. In the middle of a bloody battle, our ex-president, who, by the way, not too long ago, when Putin invaded Ukraine, not the first time, not in 2014, but just whatever it was, 45 days ago, whatever it was, he says that Putin's a genius for doing it. What? That's your guy? I was a Republican for years. No way did I vote for that man for a reason, because he's a liar. It was obvious to me that he was a liar. I never watched his show. Some people must have just watched this guy's show and been like, "Oh yeah, that's my guy. I love him. I knew somebody like that." He came from that town in New Jersey where Trump's casino was. Said, yeah, he employed everybody in the area. Yeah, he's my guy. I watched the show. He's great. Really? He's great? That's great to you. Jesus Christ. What's up? Well, he can't be critical about everything Viking power because he's in Russia. So that would be disinformation, and you're advertising a channel on my channel, right? Viking power. Jesus Christ. Look at this. Russian propaganda buzzword with no validity. That is, if any of my moderators see this stuff, please remove it. Really? It has no validity? It doesn't. It doesn't exist. Right. Uh-huh. Um, yeah, I saw that link. So on. Destiny's fine. See, Adam needs to be. I don't care who you were married to. I mean, that's like disinformation. That's just like. They also do this sort of like statements that don't really make sense, like, or backhanded compliments. You know. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, what's up, Chad? It's Chad. No, dude, it was just some lint. I gotta go work. We're gonna go work with the dogs. I gotta get going. I do. I gotta go get going. What's up, Chad? How you doing, man? I got to I gotta do some stuff before I work with it. No, we're gonna go out and do a lesson. I gotta go. You doing all right? How are the bands? The bands. You know, I'm learning how to play the guitar. Can you believe it? Good. I got an acoustic and a bass. The acoustic I'm sort of better at, I think. That's what I've been told too. But I do enjoy it. It's relaxing. Like, I'll pick it up and, like, I got Khaki, my duck, downstairs, and I'll just play it. She likes it, even though I suck. Why are you not playing? Why do you have no gigs? Is it because there's not as much record. Oh, I see. Right. I guess when the pandemic was full on, you couldn't have any gigs anyway, right? It's all bullshit. Yeah, I tried the harmonica. I couldn't get that. My guess is, that it's mask off right now, but I just keep hearing about so many people getting it. I think the B2 isn't as like bad for you, or it appears not to be, but you can get it easier. And then I heard a statistic recently that was like, um, at least half the people that should be getting a booster haven't got a booster, so it starts waning. That's a problem because if you don't get the booster and you get it, you can still get that virus with a vaccine. What the vaccine does is it makes it so you don't have a bad outcome, okay? So you might get it, you just might not feel as shitty. So, anyway. I just, these propaganda channels on YouTube, I guess they're just going to leave them because they're not, they're not really saying anything repugnant. That's not the way it's done, okay? That's like comments that are obviously like a good troll wants the comment to stay. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. I don't really care. It's removed on my channel. This is not a democracy. It's a YouTube channel. You can't just say whatever you want. And you can't, even in the real world, you can't just say whatever you want. You can't get on a plane and start making jokes about a bomb. You can't go into a theater and scream fire. You can't just do whatever you want. You can't say it's my right not to wear a seatbelt. Okay, it's your right not to wear a seatbelt, but if you do it so many times, you're gonna lose a lot of money and you'll probably lose your license. So there are rules, there's laws that you have to go by. In Russia, they have a law that you can't have a VPN. Careful or you're gonna get smacked by Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith, are you saying I'm a robot? Is that what you're saying? I don't understand. What are you saying? Get lost in space? Is that what you're saying? What are you saying? Oh, laughing out loud. Will Smith. Oh. Oh, yeah, but I don't get the joke. What was I saying? That's an interesting thing. Will Smith. Like, there's a lot of talk about Will Smith and Chris Rock, and it's sort of like I see Will Smith as being resorting to violence, right? Which I don't think that there's ever a reason. You should be able to say whatever you want, right? I see what you're saying about now, freedom of speech. You should be able to do that. You should be able to say whatever you want. Nobody should ever like physically assault you. Well, try that to a cop. Don't try that to a cop, actually. Do not do that. Yeah, I've heard that it was a setup slap. Maybe. Maybe. We don't know. We don't know. Either way, they both come off as screwed up. If somebody gets physical with you, if it's another dude, you could protect yourself, and if it's a chick, don't just leave the area or something. Just leave the area. But nobody should ever resort to like some kind of physical thing because somebody says something that they find repugnant. Now, on the same hand, as a comic, there are some things that I won't say. I won't say some things. I do have a filter. I know it's hard to believe, but I have a filter, and there's some things that you don't joke about. Um, some comedians can get away with things that others can't. Like I think about Don Rickles doing racial stuff back there in the day. He could always get away with it, but other comedians can't. It has to do with the delivery, and is the guy really, um, was he racist? I don't think he really gave a shit. But like when AIDS came about, nobody would ever do a joke. No comedian's going to get up and make a joke about AIDS. You know, it's not funny. There's people dying. There's just some stuff that isn't funny. It's like twisted humor. Like you see twisted humor on the internet. For instance, like as trolls come in and they're giggling when they're saying stuff like, I hope you get, like that, like talking about you getting sick and not, like that. Like they think that that's funny. Like it's some kind of twisted thing. It's some kind of childish mentality, some kind of cruelty. Like cruelty is not funny. Being cruel isn't funny. And that's sort of how I see Chris Rock saying that to Jada Pinkett Smith, because she has a medical condition, right? Why is he making a joke about a medical condition? That's ridiculous, whoever that is. You're just spamming my channel with garbage. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, even if she didn't have a medical condition, yeah, it was lame. I agree. So she has her hair real low as she shaved her head. That's her prerogative. It's like making fun of the way that somebody looks. It seems sort of like a low blow. Like, it doesn't require anything. It's really childish. It reminds me of like humor in second grade. You're on the playground and picking on someone just because they look different or whatever. They are different. Doesn't matter. But it's just a low blow. Like, it's strange he went there. It would also be strange that that was used if it was a setup. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, see, this is the reason why I think that it wasn't a setup, is because he went after Jada Pinkett Smith. If he would have said something to Will Smith, right, that was rude, then I'd say it was a setup. But I just don't think that the guy was, I don't know, sometimes you might have a lapse of judgment and you might make a statement, and that would be poor time. Yeah, I know, it's sort of weird, right? Why would he, why would he do that unless it was a setup? Could be. Either way, it looked real bad for both of them. Like, if it was a setup, it makes Chris Rock look like an idiot, right? He should know better as a comic not to say that, grudge somebody with an illness. That's just nonsense. And then, if it was a setup, Will Smith could have accomplished more by sitting in his seat and heckling him and just saying, don't fucking say anything bad about my wife ever again, and left it at that. And the crowd would have been silent. But instead, he got up and he even laughed about it right when he said it. And then he looked over at Jada Pinkett Smith that looked mortified and embarrassed. And then he got up. So either way, they both look like idiots. Will Smith worse because he resorted to violence, and he had this rationale of like, he's in the spotlight and people are always like, you have to put up with so much, and that's true. That's true. He's in the spotlight. He has to put up with a lot. He's got the stalkers. He's got people saying shit. Rock's salary have shut up like 800% for the upcoming tour. I believe it. Um, his excuse was sort of like factual, right? In that, like, that's probably true. There's stress with being famous, like one of the most famous people in Hollywood. Bro, normal Russians don't have access to VPNs. Yeah, we just talked about that. Didn't I just discuss this? I did. Yes, that's right. Normal Russians can't get a VPN. If it's a VPN, if they announce it on their channel, that smells like a government channel, doesn't it? If they're saying they have a VPN. So, okay, don't worry about it. Where was I? Something about Chris Rock and what's his name? Will Smith. Oh, my point is this. So there would be stress that comes along with being super famous, certainly, right? There's stress that comes along with not being famous and just having a shitty YouTube channel with 180,000 subs. There's stress. Okay? It's flat out. But the person that is super famous in Hollywood, right? That has stress of walking everywhere and people recognizing you, and just, that at a point would get real old. Somebody saying something, like he's walking down the street and then somebody's doing a catchphrase from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That would get real old. He's being compensated by millions of dollars. So there's no reason that he should have gotten up on stage and gotten physical with Chris Rock. It doesn't matter how much stress is happening. And then right after this happened, he wins an award. Something doesn't smell right. Something. Yeah, I'd like to have those problems too. The problem of not having to worry about money. Because that's all I worry about is fucking money. I got a car out here. I don't know how I'm going to get it to pass inspection. I'm going to have to work on it, and I'm not that good with cars. So I'm going to have to do it. I'm mechanical, but it's stress. It's more stress in my life that I wouldn't need. Does Will Smith ever have to work on his car? Hell no. He probably replaces a car when it gets a flat tire. How could you be stressed if you can spend 10,000 on a what? On a message? Who's that? Explain to me. How can you be stressed if you can spend 10 grand on a message? What's that? I don't understand. Somebody tell me. I mean, seriously, what he spent $10,000 on a message? I'm curious. What does that mean? Tell me. I don't know, man. A lot of this stuff slips through the cracks with me. I don't. I'm sort of up on a lot of stuff, but I mean, Destiny probably is more up. She's constantly on the internet perusing stuff. So, but who spent 10K on a message? Somebody tell me, man. Nobody's telling me. Chad said 100%. Will Smith acted like a fool. Heck, I'm disabled. I get made fun of. I get. Too bad about the alopecia. You can't go around lawless. Yeah, I agree. Uh, people talking about it was so slap, but honestly, the most shocking thing at the Oscars was Dune winning 6 Academy Awards. We watched that the other day, and I liked it, but Paul's mother. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? What was that? These longing looks, you know? Oh, he's gonna dress, and she undressed, and she looked little bit too young to be his mom. Okay, I think that they were trying to make some kind of tension there, some kind of edible tension that I really don't need to see. You know, maybe if you live in Alaska or something, you're into that. I don't know. Um, it's good. We watched it. We got a 30-day free trial on HBO Max or something, so we didn't have to pay for it. I liked it. By the way, Raised by Wolves is good on HBO Max. I saw the pilot on YouTube. I'd watched it, and then I saw it when we were like doing that. Oh, Raised by Wolves. I've seen that, and so we're watching that, and that's awesome. If you're into androids, now, you know, I mean, who isn't into androids, robots? Um, if Dune is compared to other sci-fi, then it's not really that good. I didn't compare it to other sci-fi, did I? I'll tell you what I don't like is the Star Wars franchise. Hang on, what were this person never answered what I said, which was, how could you be stressed if you can spend 10,000 K on a message? Trout Jerky said that. Would somebody explain that? Do I have to remove that? Because nobody's saying what that meant. Okay? So, somebody's going to have to tell me what that means. If you don't know what it means, I'm going to assume it's some kind of disinformation. A message, laughing out loud, not. Oh, massage. Oh, dyslexia. He spent $10,000 on a massage? Thank you. Dyslexia. I see words and like chef and chief. I'm like, oh, that's chef. Yeah, the Star Wars sequels. $10,000? Who? Will Smith did? I guess Will Smith, I guess. What kind of massage is worth $10,000? Was it an escort? Is that what the implications are here? Is that what they're inferring? Know what he's saying? Come on. I gotta get going. Nobody's gonna talk about it. I will let you throw rocks at me. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I don't get. These people that like Russell Crowe had a problem of getting in fights. I almost went. That was like I don't know if those were setups. Like you're making so much money, dude. Like, well, Jada admitted she cheated on Will at the red table. I don't know what the red table is, but I heard that she was with like some 18-year-old or something. Is that correct? It's a little young. I mean, that's like out of high school, you know. You know, you know. I don't know. It's legal, I guess. I don't know. Red Table Talk, a podcast. I see. Um, you know, I mean, can you I'm trying to think of myself right out of high school, right? I'm 18, and then it was her son's friend. That is scummy. That is fucked up. Um, yeah, he is a good actor. But so Jada had sex. She said that she had sex with her son's friend. I healed him and he healed me. You can use whatever words you want, Jada. Okay? Will didn't slap him. That's a good point. That's a good point. And it was an 18-year-old kid, okay? Okay. I was 18, okay? So let's say hypothetically I was 18. My friend's mom, real hot, had a crush on her. She starts hitting on me. All right? But I'd find it real strange that the friend's mom would do something like that. Like, what is wrong with her that she had to do that? She could have. She wanted to, she could have found anyone other than her son's friend, right? Anyone. She could have found anyone that wasn't 18. She could have found somebody that was like 21. I don't think anybody would have thought of batted an eye. I mean, it is Hollywood. It's like people don't really care about age gap, but I mean, when you're talking about a 17 or 18-year-old, like, what? Guy's right out of high school. I'm thinking about me right out of high school, which I didn't finish high school. I was right in the Navy. Like, I was a wreck. I would have done it. Yeah, I was 18. I don't hold the kid responsible. I hold the adult responsible. Is he legally an adult at 18? Yeah. But is he fresh out of high school? Yeah. Has he done anything other than been in high school? I don't think so. When I can't believe Will Smith got a $10,000 massage. That is ridiculous. Like, great, you have some money. Why don't you give it to charity? Give it to somebody that really needs it. Hey, Will, next time you want to get a $10,000 massage, just go get one that costs a couple hundred and send me the rest, because I could really use it. Okay? All right? 10 grand? Oh my God. Fuck. Instead, he's going and getting an HJ for 10 grand. Unbelievable. What's the matter with people? I mean, seriously. Like, I don't know. I like Chris Rock as a comedian, and I like Will Smith as an actor, and now both of them I'm just sort of like, what the fuck's your problem? And even if it's a setup, what the fuck is your problem? Those mall massages recliners do wonders for $2. Oh, really? The one where you can put your face in the thing? I don't think that's the kind you wanted, though. I'm sure it was like a model, right? I don't get it. I mean, come on. He's like a little bit younger than me. He's going and doing that. Dude, why? Why? If I got a 10,000 massage, they better heal me. Yeah, maybe he should have bought that for Jada, who clearly needed to be healed. Right? Because she said that this kid healed her. So fuck off, dude. What's the matter with you? So that's a moron. That's a moron. That's the new catchphrase they use is groomer, right? That's the that goes hand in hand with a lot of Republican disinformation. Like if they're going to attack somebody, that's one of the keywords that they use, or the other word that means the same thing. But that's just to like, it just means something else. It's like, see that's the deal that I'm talking about. Like disinformation. It's me, but see, people put that out on the internet, and then people see that stuff, and you see that, and you're like, oh, So it's kind of hard for the person that sees it, that thinks it, like, to convince them. So that's part of the disinformation. It's just like, whatever, whatever. It's weird. Like this didn't exist before the internet, obviously. You had TV, radio, and then now the internet. It's like anything goes. Don't worry about it, Shirley. You don't have to get them all. You know, don't worry about it. But I appreciate it when you do. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the internet. Like anything goes. Like like it's ridiculous. There's not a lot we can do about it because the internet's here. It's like I was saying, like YouTube. Peter, when will you visit Taiwan? Not for a while. I wish I could. I have friends in Taiwan. I like to see them. I have some dogs that I trained in Taiwan. I'd love to see them. It's all about disinformation. Sort of. I have some conservative beliefs that just being a scummy stuff, all types. It's just a bunch of shit. It's as easy to do with the internet. Like YouTube's not going to get rid of the channels that appear to be, whatever, propaganda. I don't, now that I see them, like the one channel that I was watching, it's clear I wondered if it was propaganda the whole time. And then now I know it is. But like, there wouldn't be a channel on there right now that wouldn't be propaganda, that was okayed by the government. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like everyday person isn't going to be able to get on YouTube at this point from Russia. I'm just telling you, if they announce that they have a VPN, they're announcing they have a VPN on YouTube, and it's a Russian channel. They're not supposed to have a VPN. It's illegal. Why would they be announcing they have a VPN? Sucker born every day, and it has nothing to do with somebody's IQ. It doesn't. Real smart people get suckered into this shit. I got to go work with this dog, all right? I'll live stream later, all right? I will. Find any good ideas on chicken leg deals? I'm finding them at VPNs are illegal in Russia. I believe they're illegal in China too. If you have one, don't announce it. Do you see the point? You don't announce it that you have one. If you're on YouTube and you're saying, yeah, I use a VPN, and you're in Russia, that's a sort of a bad sign. So take it for what it's worth. You want to think that it's not? That's your business. These are purely my opinions, and it's just sort of like, stuff seems sort of logical to me. Like you can just say, well, that doesn't pass the smell test or whatever. It is what it is, and it's probably propaganda. Yeah, I would say so.